Ever since I was a kid, riding a Texas Longhorn has always been kind of something that I've wanted to do. I saw a picture in a magazine of a cowboy riding a Longhorn at a branding, dragging calves to the fire. That sort of set a dream in my mind there that I wanted to do one day. Years passed and I was riding colts, and one of the neighbors where I was riding, he gave me a call and said, "Hey, I got this steer that's growing up a little too much." I got to thinking and I asked him, "Well, would you sell that steer to me?" He said, "I guess so. What are you gonna do with him?" I said, "I'm gonna ride him." And I had actually a lot of people say that they didn't think it could be done. Jasper, when I bought him, he had been roped and bulldogged. He was 2 years old, probably about 900 pounds. And yeah, he'd never had a halter on, nothing. I'm always just out there trying to do new things. And so this was an exciting opportunity. When it came to doing the first ride, and everything went good. And so after that, I started getting on him in the round pen, and I used a Bozell on him rather than a bridle. I didn't think a bridle would work too well in a steer's mouth. The guys who owned him previous to me, they said he was their hardest running roping steer. I sure don't see that in him these days. So as me and Jasper, I guess, developed our relationship, we grew. He got better, more broke. I started taking him out and doing more stuff with him. And I'm gonna share one experience in particular. I was preparing to go in the Raymond Canada Day Parade. My wife, she was 9 months pregnant. And so the night before, go to bed, and sure enough, at 2 a.m., her water broke. So we rushed into the hospital. I'm missing the parade today, but that's okay. And so we got into Lethbridge and waited, and nothing was really happening. They didn't even believe her water broke until they did a test. And come 9 a.m. or 8 a.m., Ella was getting maybe sick and tired of me sitting around. I'm kind of a busybody, especially when I'm bored. And she said to me, she's like, "Go ride in that parade and get out of my hair for a little bit." Yeah, and then I got back and there was time to spare. At 12:03 a.m. the next morning, Tylee was born. And then about 4 days later, we had a family reunion. And so we brought Tylee, Jasper, and the whole crew out to the reunion. It actually happened one day. I was riding down the main street in Raymond, just having fun. And this guy pulls over. He says, "You need to get out and start performing." I said, "Performing?" That's where the seed was planted. And he says, "I think I can get you into whoop-up days in Lethbridge." It was quite the journey, just practicing trick roping, learning that. Really, Jasper was the star of the show. One of my favorite things to do at a show was to have a race with all the kids. So I would have a bunch of kids come into the arena, and I'd line us all up, and then if you've seen Jasper run, you would know he's not that fast. I don't think I've ever won more than maybe one race. I've beat toddlers. I'd give them the nod and they'd open the chute, and there I'd come loping out on Jasper across the arena. And then everyone would realize that it was kind of a joke. And then one of my favorite parts of my act as well was standing up on him and doing my big loop. And so I'd get 60 feet of rope spinning around me, and that was a huge highlight for me. To me and my family, Jasper is just one of the crew. When Tylee sees another cow with horns, she says, "Oh, Jasper, Jasper has such a personality. Like, I can read him like a book. It's funny, even from the time I had 2 weeks of work into him. Someone else would walk in the pen and he'd start switching his tail and get worried just because he was still pretty new at that point, and then I'd walk in and he'd just calm down. Jasper's best friend is our buffalo Indy. We got Indy as a bottle baby, and they're together all the time. Ever since Indy was just like, just a couple months old, we turned Jasper in with him. And yeah, they've grown quite the bond themselves. We've been able to perform at Whoop Up Days, we've led the Raymond Day Parade, we've gone on the Red Deer Parade, we've performed at Westerner Days in Red Deer, we've gone up to Mayerthorpe, to the Chuckwagon Finals in Lloydminster. We've been all over. And now I'm starting to do some YouTubing, and I'm planning to use Jasper and my buffalo Indy more. So it's been quite the journey, and I think there's quite a journey left ahead of us. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, hit the like and subscribe button, and then go in the description and click on our link where you can go to our website and check out all of our horse training content. Thank you.